Hello students, this is Dr. Todd. Today we're going to have our second scientist that will join us, and I'm glad that I was able to arrange to have Dr. Oya Bermek from the National Institutes of Health to join us today. Dr. Bermek and I worked together when I was at UNC about a year ago, actually before I came to PSPA. We were working on herpes simplex virus there. And I thought Dr. Bermek would be able to give us some wonderful insights into coronavirus as well as viruses themselves. Hello, Dr. Bermek, are you there?
I am here, Dr. Todd. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We're just thrilled to have you today. Thank you for taking time for us. So one of the first questions that we have for you is just tell us a little bit about your work at NIEHS.
So my work is on herpes simplex virus type 1, which causes basically a cold sores, and it can also cause fatal consequences. And what I'm trying to do is to find a viral target and find a structure so we can produce targets, drug molecules. So for this, we need to know the structure of the proteins.
Great, thank you. So from what I understand, you're currently working on herpes simplex virus, and you're looking for drug targets, vaccine targets against it. Which one?
So the target should be very specific, because if we target some other important thing which is required for our body, and it will kill virus, but it will kill us too. So that is why it should be very specific to the viruses. And to generate a drug target or a inhibitor, we need to know exactly specifically the structure of the virus, which is different than ours. And that is the way the drugs are generated.
Great. Okay, so a much more specific question we have for you is, how does coronavirus attack human cells, in short?
Quickly, viruses. So they are basically a piece of RNA or DNA, and they are protected in an envelope, okay? And each virus has very special proteins on their envelope. And then each one recognizes different receptors in our body. And coronavirus, the protein on coronavirus recognizes the receptor on our lungs in the upper respiratory system. So it doesn't go to our lips, it doesn't go to our kidney. And the specificity comes from the special protein on coronavirus recognizes the protein on our lung, and then this interaction causes the specificity.
So whenever I see the coronavirus, it's all over the news, and it's a significant health issue, probably one of the most significant health issues in our lifetimes, perhaps. Whenever I see this virus, it has spikes coming out of it. Can you explain what we're actually looking at when we see the coronavirus?
So exactly the protein I mentioned, which is on the envelope, actually it is called a spike protein because it is a spike projection which looks like actually crown, and a corona means actually crown. And the spike protein go directly and now find a partner on our cell, and then it's like a lock and a key interaction. Like the key of my house will not open your door, right? So it is a very specific interaction. So it is the way viruses are transmitted.
Great analogy. So can you shed some light? Why do you think that this specific coronavirus is so easily spread? And that could be a hard, I don't know if that's probably quite a challenging question. But another question would be, what are some other coronaviruses?
Okay, so first of all, coronaviruses, they come from bats. This is the source. And bats have almost 500 coronaviruses in their body, but it doesn't affect them because their immune system is different, this or that. And there are 3 coronaviruses originally coming from bats, which cause diseases: SARS, MERS, and COVID-19. All they attack with serious respiratory diseases. One thing is that it's not that Chinese people drink bat soup and it comes from this. So because the virus doesn't come directly from bat to human, it's via a host intermediate. For MERS, it was civet cats. For SARS, bat infected camel. And then in the camel, the virus replicated and was mutated. And after it transmitted and infected human. So it means that the genome of the virus coming from bat is different than the virus which infects us. I think this is the important thing to know.
So from what you've said, I understand that more than likely the coronavirus, COVID-19, has jumped from bats to a host intermediate, which is likely to be another animal, and then it jumped from that animal into humans. One of the things I was reading this morning, I read that actually one of the big cats in a zoo is one of the entire set of cats, big cats in a zoo in the United States has tested positive for the coronavirus. And the cats were coughing and having some of the same symptoms. Of course, we'll probably, hopefully through epidemiology, we will understand how this virus got from the bat to us.
I mean, if it is the cats you mentioned, it is the source, we will be able to know by sequencing their genome, and we know our human genome, we could compare them. And the similarity should be more than 95%, such that accurately say that this genome and this is the same.
Thank you. So again, why do you think that this specific coronavirus, COVID-19, why do you think that it is so infectious? Because compared to SARS and MERS, former pandemics, it seems this virus really can be transmitted from person to person.
Yes, I mean, SARS also is transmitted from person to person. So there are very similar parts and very different parts too. They are both transmitted via aerosol, this micro droplets that we generate when we are sneeze or cough, and even when we are talking each other, we generate this micro droplet. So in each drop, imagine that there are 10 SARS viral particles. In COVID, the case of COVID, instead of 10, we have 100 virus particles. So with the same amount of drops, maybe the immune system will resist 10 particles, but 100 particles is so much different than less viral titer. So it is another reason. Another reason for this is that the symptoms come later. So that is why we don't know which person has it, which doesn't have. And if the symptom occurs, you will say that, oh, the person is sick, okay, let's be far from this person. But we don't have it with this COVID. It comes 10 to 14 days later, the symptoms appear.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess our next question is a little bit more general. The next question would be, you know, the students that I teach are age 13, 14. They will be heading off to high school. What kind of advice would you give to my students in terms of pursuing any interest in science or even science and math?
Well, I must say that it is difficult to know what you want to do until you try it. So, for instance, I chose science because all my family was doctors and molecular biologists. So it was a normal, like a continuation of the family tradition, if you want. But as I was more involved in science, I started to like it more. So I think it's important to give it a try and then to see if you like it or not.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask you one more question about preparation for science. Some of my students have asked me, wow, why are we doing math while we're doing science? And can you shed a little insight on that? Because I know even in our work together at UNC, I mean, it was nearly, there's no doing science without some integration of some math.
Okay, let's say that you are working on a drug and then you need to calculate how much milligram to give the concentration on this based on kilogram of this person. So everything is about concentration. We are talking about nanomolar, picomolar. So those really depends your skills in mathematics. You cannot make wrong calculations and then give the patient like 10 times more than you should give, right? Everything is mathematics.
Great, thank you very much. Let's see here. To wrap things up, do you have anything that you would like to share with the students in general about maybe how you became interested in science, why you became interested in viruses?
As I just mentioned, it was all my family constitutes of doctors and medicines and scientists. I was, I think, inspired by my parents and the family members. So it was the reason I chose science, and I'm so happy that I chose this.
Thank you so much. Okay, I don't want our interview to go too long. I have a feeling when the students see this interview, they're going to probably have some more questions. So quite possibly I will bring those back to you, and perhaps we can have another conversation maybe in another week or so. And we might even have some more information on the coronavirus itself by then.
Yes, please don't hesitate to ask me questions. And yeah, that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time with us today. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.